Okay, good evening everyone. So today's quiz is based on basic English grammar. So you'll have these basic rules and active voice, passive voice, and also few conditionals. So we have 40 participants and I think it's 7-5. So we can start without further delay. Okay, let's begin. Wish you all the best. So the first question, the first letter of the first word in a sentence should be. Read the options and don't get confused. The first letter of the first word in a sentence should be. Time is up. 28 members answered out of 43 participants. So we have the leaderboard score today here. So 26 members answered it correctly. Moving on to the next question. Question number 2. The order of a basic positive sentence is. So what is the basic positive sentence order? The order of a basic positive sentence is. So you have 30 seconds to answer each and every question. And there ends the time. 37 members answered out of 47 participants. And the leaderboard score. So we have Abhiram on the top, followed by Lakshmi, Shriya, M. Vandana. 26 members answered it correctly again. Moving on to the next question. Question number 3. On your screens now. Every sentence must have a subject and what? Every sentence must have a subject and your screens now. Every sentence must have a subject. 41 members answered out of 48 participants. And the leaderboard scores. A lot of changes on the leaderboard scores. You can check that on the YouTube link. And 19 members answered this question correctly. Moving on to the next question. Question number 4. A plural subject needs. A plural subject needs what? Someone is trying to disturb us. So it's better to disconnect this Zoom link, because few members are trying to disturb us. So let's continue. So we have 16 members here who have answered it correctly. Moving on to the next question. Question number 5. When two singular subjects are connected by or, so what do we use? There ends the time. Okay, a lot of changes in the leaderboard score again. So 11 members answered it correctly. Moving on to the next question. Adjectives usually come. When these adjectives usually come? Third and sixth positions were replaced, and 13 members answered it correctly. So moving on to the next question, question number 7. If an opinion adjective and a fact adjective are used before a noun, which comes first? There ends the time. 41 members answered. And third, fourth, and a lot of changes happened in this leaderboard score. There is a tough competition. So let's see here. 24 members answered it correctly. Moving on to the next question, question number 8. In English, a collective noun is usually treated as in English, a collective noun is usually treated as So 43 members answered and 23 members answered it correctly. Moving on to the next question. Question number 9. Now you need to see and answer it because the terms its and its pronunciation would be same. But what about the meaning? That's the question. Okay, 18 members answered it correctly. Let's move on to the 10th question. So I have started the Zoom on a different device now. So which is correct? So read the two sentences and tell which is correct. So let's see who is going to disturb us now. So you need to pick up the right phrase or sentence given there. So third and fourth positions were replaced. 37 members answered it correctly. Moving on to the next question, question number 11. I ate a piece of chocolate cake. I ate a piece of chocolate cake. You need to find out which voice is this sentence in. Active voice or passive voice? Okay, time is up. 41 members answered within the time frame, and the leaderboard score 6th, 8th and 9th positions were replaced. 24 members answered it correctly. Moving on to the next question. Question number 12. The librarian read the book to the students. So what is this sentence? Is in active or passive? You need to find out which voice. So 42 members made it within the time frame, and the leaderboard score says first, second, 8th, 9th positions were replaced. 20 members answered it correctly. Moving on to the next question, question number 13 on your screens now. The money was stolen. The money was stolen. Is it an active voice or passive voice? You need to pick up the right choice. You can always check the leaderboard scores on the YouTube link that I have given. There ends the time. 42 members answered it within the time, and the leaderboard scored 2nd, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th positions were replaced. 22 members answered this question correctly. So do not guess. Try to read the sentence 2 or 3 times and choose the right answer. Moving on to next question. Question number 14. They are paid on Fridays. They are paid on Fridays. Is this in active voice or passive voice? They are paid on Fridays. There ends the time. 42 members answered within the time, and the leaderboard score says 5th, 6th, 7th and 9th positions were replaced. 23 members answered it correctly. Moving on to the next question. Question number 15. The movie is being made in Hollywood. What voice is this sentence in? The movie is being made in Hollywood. There ends the time. 43 members answered within the time, and the leaderboard scores 5th and 7th positions were replaced. 22 members answered it correctly. Moving on to the next question. Question number 16. I washed my car 3 weeks ago. I washed my car 3 weeks ago. What voice is this sentence in? Active or passive? There ends the time. 43 members answered, and the leaderboard score says 5th, 6th, 7th positions were replaced. Okay, 23 members answered this question correctly. Moving on to the next question. Question number 17. His hair was cut by a professional. His hair was cut by a professional. Time is up. 40 members made it within the time, and the leaderboard score says a lot of changes in the leaderboard score. 23 members answered it correctly. Moving on to the next question of active voice and passive voice. 18th question. I will introduce you to my boss this week. What sentence is this? I will introduce you to my boss this week. There ends the time. It's 39 members answered it. The leaderboard score says 7th, 8th, 9th positions were replaced with new people. 27 members answered it correctly. So how accurate and how fast you answered, your score will increase. So next question, 19th question. It would have been fixed at the weekend. It would have been fixed at the weekend. There ends the time. 41 members made it within the time frame, and the leaderboard scores 4th, 5th, 6th and 8th positions were replaced. 23 members answered it correctly. So moving on to the next question, question number 20. So last question for active voice and passive voice. The national anthem is being sung by Jason this time. The national anthem is being sung by Jason this time. There ends the time. 42 members made it within the time, and the leaderboard scores 7th and 9th positions were replaced. 24 members answered it correctly. So moving on to different set of questions. 21st question on your screens. Conditionals. So what would you do if it dash on your wedding day? So you need to fill in the blank with the correct conditional. So read the options carefully and pick the right one. Okay, leaderboard score says 4th, 7th and 8th positions were replaced. 13 members answered this question correctly. Okay, moving on to the next question, question number 22nd. So read the given sentence. If she comes, I dash call you. What will be the correct conditional in that? Is my voice audible? There ends the time. 40 members made it within the time, and the leaderboard score says 7th position was replaced. 34 members answered it correctly. Moving on to the next question. Question number 23rd. Pick up the right conditional. So I'm not reading the sentences because I might end up saying the answer. There ends the time. 42 members made it within the time. The leaderboard scores 4th and 8th positions were replaced. 16 members answered it correctly. Moving on to next question. Question number 24. You have total 30 questions today. What will you do if you dash the history exam? It's really difficult to read the fill in the blanks. So pick up the right conditional. There ends the time. 40 members made it. The leaderboard scores 6th and 9th positions were replaced. 20 members answered it correctly. Moving on to the next question. Question number 25. So read the sentence and pick the right conditional again. Twenty-four members answered it correctly. Moving on to the next question. Question number 27. So there ends the time. And 3rd, 4th, 7th, 8th, 9th positions were replaced. 22 members answered it correctly. Moving on to question number 28. So read the question and pick up the right conditional. Six members could answer it correctly. Moving on to question number 29. Okay, time is up. 37 members made it within the time. No change in the leaderboard score. 7 members were able to answer the right answer. Okay, so let's move on to the last question of the day. Last question for this conditionals and last question of this quiz. Time is up. 20 members answered this question correctly. So let's check the final scores, and I hope today it will show the top 3 positions. So we have Grishma Shivani third position, Lakshmi Surya second, and Abhiram first position. Congratulations to all of you. I appreciate time and effort of all the participants. Somehow there is no music. Sometimes this, maybe it's overloaded, this particular website. Okay then, good night everyone.